everyone, Meep here, and in this video I will be giving you all the pro tips that you need for every DragonVale event. I'd say I'm pretty much a seasoned veteran of this game. I've been playing for almost 8 years, and I know a lot about events by now, so I thought it would be nice to make sort of a guide video to help out new players. If you're a long-term player, you could probably benefit from this as well, since there's a lot in here. I will have timestamps in the description for each tip. Yeah, let's get started. So the first tip for any DragonVale event is you need to make a plan for what you want to do. So especially these days with how many dragons are available, it can be really overwhelming trying to figure out what your end goal is. And the solution to that is making a plan for everything you want to go for in the event. So this includes dragons, habitats, buildings, island themes, whatever, just anything you want to get with your event currency. Obviously, you want to make it realistic. Only make a list of things you think are achievable. For the dragons you want to go for, it's important. Find out which ones are the easiest to breed and dedicate your breeding caves to those. You can look at just their rarities. For example, rares are usually easier to breed than epics. Or you can go to an app like the DragonVale Breeding Guide app, which I would highly recommend, and find out the exact numbers for which dragons have the highest and the lowest breeding odds. And you want to save your event currency for the dragons that are super difficult to breed, because you do not want to be spending the entire event trying to breed a dragon that you are unlikely to get. Tip number 2 is super important. Know your reset times. Reset times are much more important than you might think. So first of all, there is the daily reset, and you can see when this resets in the gift menu. As you can see, it's not as long right now because I'm approaching my 12-hour reset, but every 24 hours is when this timer resets. That's when a new daily gift becomes available. This is when limited dragons leave and enter the market. That's once a week. This is also when the amount of event currency you can collect from your habitats resets. If you've been playing events, you might have noticed that you can collect event currency just by collecting cash on your habitats. There is a cap to this. Every day you can only collect a certain amount of event currency from your habitats. The daily reset is when your progress towards that cap resets. Daily reset also affects double currency, like when your double days and triple days end. So if it's a double day, make sure you're watching that timer so that you can plan when you log on, make sure you're getting the most currency possible. The next kind of reset is your 12-hour reset. That is when your mini games reset. And as you can see, mine just reset right here. So now I can play my mini games again. Yay. And when you do all of your mini game plays, this will also count down until the next 12-hour reset. And one of your 12-hour resets will correspond with the daily reset. Just playing all my mini games, then I'll get to the next tip. Tip number 3 is how to predict double and triple days. So for a few days every week in an event, you will have double currency available in your park, and this applies to anything. Yeah, basically anything that gives you currency, that's going to be doubled on the double days. But what you may not know is there's a schedule to double days. So every weekend on Saturday and Sunday, you have a guaranteed double day. It's like a 2-day long double day basically, and it begins at Saturday's daily reset time and it ends at Monday's daily reset time. And there will also be at least one double day during the weekdays, either Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday. That day will rotate every week, so if it's Tuesday one week, it's probably going to be Wednesday or Thursday the next week. There will never be double days on Mondays or Fridays because of the weekend double days. And you may have noticed I did mention triple days. at the beginning of this section. Yes, they do exist. They're super rare. They only tend to happen about once a year, maybe twice if we get lucky. There is a guaranteed triple day on Christmas. Every year I have seen a triple day on Christmas. For 8 years I have seen this every year. And there has been one other time during my time playing this game where Deca has given us a triple day as compensation for a glitch. So if something ever gets screwed up super badly, there's a chance we'll get a triple day. It's not a high chance, but there is a chance. They work the exact same as double days, just triple currency everywhere instead of double. So make sure to remember that for the winter event, there will be a triple day on Christmas. Tip number 4, unconventional ways of getting event currency. This one's super important. So you may have noticed you'll get a pop-up menu sometimes when you're playing events that shows you like all the different ways you can get event currency in the game. And it includes pretty much everything in the game, right? Yeah, they mean that. You can get event currency from pretty much anywhere. So here are some slightly unconventional sources that you may not have thought about using before. First up, you should already be doing this, but the Colosseum. The Colosseum Ethereum. If you get a gold trophy every day, that will give you 25 event currency and 50 on double days. Another good source, Tolzar's Optical Oracle. So this will give you 3 visions every day for 50 event currency on single days, 100 on double days. It's right under the co-op breeding cave, just in case you're wondering where to find it. And that's a pretty nice way of getting event currency right there. Okay, this next method is a bit of a grind, but it is a popular one, so I'm gonna show it to you guys. And that is the plant dragon breeding trick. So essentially, when you start a breed, move an egg to the nursery and hatch and sell the egg. Each time you do that, you get 1 event currency. So as you can see right here, if you breed 2 plant dragons together, breed them, that gives you 1 event currency. It only takes a couple seconds for the time to finish, and then another couple seconds for the egg to be done. Hatch that, there you go, boom, 3 event currency in just a few seconds. Now this method is much better on double days because that is all doubled. You get 6 event currency in basically 4 to 5 seconds. See how fast this is? You see this? Exactly, 2 seconds to finish the breed, another 2 seconds to hatch the egg. And there you go, you just got 3 event currency from that, and that would be 6 on a double day. Again, this is kind of a grindier method, so I would recommend using it only on double days. And if you have the time to put in, it can be a really good way of getting event currency. This is what I used to do when I was behind on dragons. I would just sit on the game and do the plant trick for hours. Okay, the final method, this is my favorite one, and that is rift breeding. Don't mind that I haven't collected any of my Ethereum here, but this method is similar to the plant one in that it's also breeding and it's fast. As you guys know, rift breeding takes absolutely no time at all, just a couple of seconds, and the egg is also immediately available for you to do whatever you want with. The trick for this is you want to breed 2 epic dragons together so that you get a wide range of breeding results. They will mostly be rares and epics, which sell for a lot of event currency. As you can see right here, the combo I'm using is Chromacorn and Corrupticorn, though I understand this is a really difficult combo to get. So for the purposes of this video, any 2 epic dragons will work for this trick. If you're trying to save Ethereum, don't breed a ton. Like, usually I stop when the breeding cost hits 5,000 Ethereum. If you are newer to the Rift, you should probably stop sooner, around like maybe 1,500, 2,000. You set your own personal cap. Next, we are going to be talking about finding visitors and hidden objects. So every event will hide some kind of visitor in your park, some kind of special object, one of the 2 or both. That is a thing that happens during the winter event. They hide presents and Santa Claus in your park. Here's an example of a hidden object. This gold bar right here, that's the hidden object for the Dunes of Magic event. As you can see, when you tap on it, it's another source of event currency. Pretty simple. Now, finding these can be very difficult depending on how decorated or messy your park is. Here's a couple ways to make that easier for you. The first trick is you can go to the prismatic pantheon here. So if you want to find things more easily by desaturating the colors in the prismatic pantheon, make sure you turn off everything except for visitors, all of the elements, epic and basic, and that will desaturate everything except for what you're looking for, pretty much. Now, another helpful method that I really like is going into path building mode to find hidden objects. This is very helpful because it makes all of your habitats and all your everything slightly transparent. Sometimes they will hide the hidden objects behind habitats and buildings, and it's really annoying. It's really annoying, but unfortunately it happens. The placement of these things is automatic, just like any free space is where they'll show up. So, or even better, you could do both methods at once. You could have the desaturated colors and path building mode open. How can we not find one more of these? This is sad. This is sad. I'm sad. Ah, there we go. There's an example. You see how this one is hidden behind these trees? Look, we go out of path building mode. You can barely see that. You would not notice that if you weren't in path building mode. And there you go, tap it, bam. You don't have to move anything around. There you go. Yeah, they could be a little bit annoying to find, let me tell you. Next, we're gonna be talking about approaching the newest dragons. Every event has new dragons because it's the whole selling point of the thing, but they always have a catch. First of all, every event in the last category, there will be 3 to 4 new dragons. So as you can see right here, this event, it is Nubis, Alazem, and Oasian. You can tell which ones are the new ones because they're always in the last category except for limiteds, and they're usually grouped with all of this stuff. So like decorations, paths, island themes, yeah, all this fun stuff. So these newest dragons, very important to know, you cannot breed these unless you are in co-op. And this is always true for the dragons in the last category of every event. So yes, they are immediately available at the start of every event. As you can see, they're not limiteds, but the catch is that you can't breed them normally. You can only breed them in co-op. So if you can, go to the DragonVale Discord, go to any DragonVale YouTubers Discord, and find people who can put those dragons up in co-op for you, and that is how you get them. You can also buy them with event currency, but it's not ideal because their prices are slightly inflated due to them being brand new. Literally, the next time they're in an event, their prices will go down. So better to just get them in co-op. As for limited dragons start coming into the market exactly 1 week after each event begins. For example, the event starts on a Thursday, right? Exactly 1 week later, on the daily reset, on a Thursday, is when the first limited dragon will show up in the event market. And there will be a new one every week until the end of the event. This usually results in 4 or 5 limited dragons being released. And these dragons are available in any breeding cave, so you can breed them anywhere in the game. Now, I would only recommend going for these limited dragons, 1, if you really want them, 2, if they are the only dragons you are missing from the event, because as you can see here, these are wicked expensive due to them being both new and limited. 15k for this price is gonna go way down in the next event that has this dragon because it won't be limited or new anymore. Do not buy them if you can avoid it. Breed these dragons. Limited dragons always come back in future events, Dragon Week events, and they'll also be available for wishes. Another note is that sometimes these dragons in the last category, sometimes they become permanent. You can see by this timer logo here that this dragon is a special dragon. It's an event dragon. It's only available at certain times. But some of these dragons in this category, I have seen cases where dragons that were here end up permanent, so they're available to breed anytime. So keep that in mind as well when you're looking at this last category. Okay, next tip is feed your dragons to the best possible breeding odds. I'm gonna get a quick example out of my hibernation cave here because look how much crap I have in my hibernation cave. Breeding odds, here's how they work. Levels 1 to 10, your dragon will have normal breeding odds. And then as you feed them higher, their breeding odds will increase. At level 11, your breeding odds increase to slightly better. And the thing about epic dragons that I should note is that for epic dragons, you can only feed them past level 10 if you have the relic of the epics or the monument of the epics. And if you want to feed them past level 15, you have to have both of these. So now back to my breeding odds thing. If you feed a dragon to level 16, they get better breeding odds. So when you're trying to breed event dragons, whether they're limiteds or not limiteds, whatever, make sure you have the best possible breeding odds you can get. Next, let's talk about how to spend event currency. So if you're like me and you're trying to beat the game, you should be spending your event currency mainly on dragons. Obviously, this is going to get you closer to finishing your dragonarium. And also, many event dragons end up being more useful than you would think because a lot of times past event dragons will end up in breeding combos for like future event dragons. Island themes are also a good investment if you're into decorating because normally island themes cost a ton of gems and they're just not worth it. So get them during events. They're not that expensive. Stuff like islands is also good. A lot of times they will put stuff like the Lost Island of Olympus in the event market. Those are very much worth your event currency. They're islands. How could you not get them? And they usually don't cost a ton either. They're not going to completely break the bank in terms of event currency. And outside events, they cost a crazy amount of gems, like even more than island themes. It's unbelievable. Next up, buildings. Twilight Tower, the weather station, buildings like that, Relic of the Epics, Monument of the Epics. I'd say the Relic and the Monument are both good things to spend your event currency on. Twilight Tower and weather station, not so much. Those buildings are more for aesthetics. It would be better to just use a wish on those. Now, decorations. This one pains me because the new decorations they've been releasing for the past couple years have been really, really cool. But do not spend your event currency on decorations. Why? Because it adds up so fast. You can see just getting one of these isn't that much, right? Only 900 for a sand dune, but that adds up. If you're a heavy decorator, if you need to buy a lot of these to make your islands look nice, which is what I do, I don't buy one of everything. I buy lots of everything because that's what makes it look good when you're decorating, right? But those costs really do add up. For decorations, don't buy them during the event. Wait for the Decorators Week event, which usually comes around in breaks between events. During Decorators Week, you can get any of these for Dragon Cash, like any other decoration. So, as for pedestals, I'd say don't buy those either unless you're going for pedestal completion, because they also add up kind of quickly. Yeah, just go for dragons. Just go for dragons. As for when to spend your event currency, at the end of every event, as you can see, this one, for example, ends August 6th. This date here that you find in the help menu is not when the entire event ends. This is when you are no longer able to collect event currency. And then after that, the event market will be open for 2 more days. And I'd say during those 2 extra days, that is the perfect time to spend your event currency. At that point, it's unlikely you're gonna breed anything new. So then you can spend your event currency on whatever dragons you were unable to breed. I'd say it's better to buy your dragons at the end of the event versus in the middle of it, unless they're limiteds. Because one time I bought a dragon from the event market, and then later I was able to breed it on accident. So you really don't want that happening. That's just a waste of your event currency, especially with all the new dragons out now. Also, at the end of the event, you have all the currency you're going to get, basically. So you can go through your wish list and prioritize spending on what you really want from the event. Well, I think that is all the Epic Gamer Pro tips I have for this video. If I missed anything, please let me know in the comment section. I'm very good at replying to comments, I promise. I hope this video was helpful. I hope that this helps you guys out with DragonVale events. Hopefully you guys will have a bit of an easier time in the future getting event currency, getting all the new dragons you want, etc. Of course, I have to plug my channel here at the end, so if you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe if you're new, because I'm trying to get 250 subs this year. That would be really epic. And I stream every single week, at least during the summer, which we're still in summer right now, so weekly streams. Hit that subscribe button, turn your notifications on so you never miss a stream. The streams are pretty wild, so you guys better subscribe for those. But yeah, that is all I have for now. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.